Hello and welcome to another Deadlock Guide video guide. Today we're going to be talking about Vyper. And normally I like to just skip reading the character's abilities because I just trust you can read them yourself, and it always annoys me whenever guide videos are just reading the character's abilities and that's it. Maybe some build stuff. But Vyper's abilities are so simple, at least these two are, that I'm probably just going to end up reading them just because their whole kit is what they do, basically. Anyways, let's just hop right into it. Alright, getting into Vyper's first ability. It's just, they're so simple. Like, I just have to tell you what they do, basically. And it's just you throw a dagger, it does a tiny bit of damage, only 50, and then it slows enemies. That's the main thing, is that it slows. You can use that to disengage, you do it to engage pretty commonly. And a lot of times, because Vyper's gun is extremely short range, you'll use it to poke. See, that whole clip did less damage than the jab, or screw jab, than the screw jab. You get a little bit closer, it does a lot more damage. Either way. You can do it while reloading. I actually didn't really notice that until just now. Yeah, sick, you do it while reloading. But notably, you can't do it while you're sliding, which is a little ridiculous, because Vyper's whole kit is all about sliding. And then you can do it mid-dash, but that actually slows your momentum way down. Let me see if I can show this better. Nope, that was a bad one.
Don't mess with me.
Nope. I'm not gonna worry about it. Just trust me, it lowers your slide duration, or your slide distance. And then the other big tip I have for the dagger also applies to like shivs, which is I recommend going into your keybinds and going hero specific. You can do this for all heroes if you really want to, but I only like it on Vyper and Shiv personally. And I have I have it set to 1 still, so it's normal if I want to, but then I also have it to the mouse button. And then in an earlier video, I was saying to do that with Holiday. On most characters, my mouse button is my melee, but on Vyper and Shiv, my mouse button does this, and then I just press V to melee. But that about ends the tips. I mean, there's not much else to say about this dagger. Alright, and then I forgot to mention in the last section, the reason I put the screw jab on my mouse button is purely preference. It just helps me aim the dagger. It just helps me aim the dagger. That's it. It's purely preference. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. Let's hop into Vyper's second ability, Lethal Venom. Lethal Venom is Vyper's bread, and Slither would be Vyper's butter. Lethal Venom is just a key component of your kit. And it's important to keep in mind, once again, I'm not going to read you the ability, I'm going to trust you can, but it's important to keep in mind that it's doing flat damage based on the enemy's missing health, right? It's not doing percentage health damage. This means if the enemy's really tanky, even though they're really low, the Lethal Venom is not going to do absurd amounts of damage. It's only going to do the 165, or you're probably going to have a level in it, so it's going to do around 200. Which is not, if they're really beefy, even if they're at like 20% HP, it's not going to kill them probably. So that's pretty important to keep in mind. And this kind of helps solidify Vyper's role as being more of an assassin, especially earlier in the game. Later in the game, you start to transition into a carry as you just get more and more items. But you definitely start off in the laning phase and then like mid to early game as a weaker assassin. And let's talk about the laning phase before we get into the upgrades for Lethal Venom, because that's going to be a big talking point. In the laning phase for Vyper, I wouldn't say Vyper is just weak. She is on the weaker side of laners. Like, I definitely wouldn't call her strong, but she's very opportunistic. Meaning you really punish your opponent's mistakes, and you really capitalize when your teammate creates an opening for you, right? Because like you can get poked constantly as Vyper, but if your teammate can set up a nice engage, say with an Abrams charge or a 7-stun or something, then you can just slide in, machine gun their head, and pop a Lethal Venom on them. And a lot of enemies, like, it's because Viper's pretty weak in lane and doesn't have a lot of initiative in lane, they tend to underestimate your damage as a whole. And so they'll be a little too comfortable in lane when they're sitting at like 40-30% HP, and you can just get a free, I mean, honestly, it feels cheesy, a free cheesy kill if they don't know what they're doing. Like, they just underestimate you. Because, like I said, you're not weak, you're just opportunistic. Alright, and then let's get into Lethal Venom's upgrades. I mean, just more damage, sick. Healing reduction, that's pretty sick. That means you really never need to build Heal Bane. But anyways, the big upgrade is at level 5, where your bullets start building down. Oh, there we go. This makes it so, I mean, when you shoot, it's a lot like Afterburn. It just stacks it up, and then, boop, and now they have Lethal Venom on them, and it just pops. And it works the exact same way as your ability. It's just Lethal Venom. And there's no cooldown. You can just do it immediately again. Pretty important to note, I make this mistake all the time, where I build up Lethal Venom, and then I try to put it on them again, and you can't do that. If they already have it, you can't like rebuild it or refresh it. But there are some crazy good combos real quick with Split Shot. You can do there, right there, right there, and oh, I can't. That's okay. That's fine. As you can see, they're all getting it. Beautiful. So once you get late game, more items, more bullet damage. You got a ton of bullet damage coming out, and then you're inflicting team-wide Lethal Venom. This also does work with Ricochet. As you can see, it can be a bit iffy with Ricochet, where the main target will be getting more than the side targets. I think when you get closer, it doesn't happen as much. But either way, Split Shot's a bit more consistent with it, I think. I find anyways in game. And I think that about covers Lethal Venom. Just, it's your bread and butter. Use it to pick up kills, use it to cheese kills in lane. Late game, it's just extra damage, extra on hit effects. This is awkward. In between recording the second ability and, well, now we're on Slither, the game had a massive update. I've already played quite a few games on the update, so the initial shock's worn down. But this does bring me to a good point of what these guides are for, which is that I'm focusing on the character themselves. As long as the character doesn't receive any major reworks, or even like because even minor reworks, they might be fine with these guides. I'm making these guides so that they're as future proof as possible because the game's in early access. Items are going to be changed all the time. So this is how it is in like every MOBA. Items are changed all the time. The map's going to be changed all the time. These guides are specifically about the character, how to play them, and they're meant to be new player friendly. Alright, with all that pre-ramble being said, let's get into Slither. Slither's, I mean, pretty simple. It's just, you slide farther, you slide longer. You could slide up hills. And yeah, you can turn faster. I was pretty sure you can. The main benefit of this is obviously it gives you infinite ammo while you're sliding. And later in the game, especially with like burst fire, which gives you more slide distance too, you just machine gun down everything really fast with infinite ammo. And that's Slither. It makes you a bit more a bit smaller, but also a little bit, I don't know if predictable is the word I want to use, but like the enemies are going to know you're going in for strafing runs, and Vyper doesn't have a lot of range on her gun, so you're naturally, it's a pretty risky play style. But that's the butter to Vyper's bread. That's the bread and butter. Is your 2s are really strong damage ability, and your 3s are really strong movement ability. This is just what you're using most of the time, and your 1's just kind of helpful. All right, and then Vyper's ult. The biggest tip I have for it is is you have to land it. Like the actual projectile itself, that needs to land. The sad truth of it is this explosion is almost kind of useless. Look at that, 45. Like, it does very little damage. It does. That's
Throw and shake.
yeah. Oh man. Yeah. So the explosion kind of sucks. It does have a slow. I was pretty sure it did. I was double checking that. But then the main thing is when you land it. That's where you get a lot more damage, and it petrifies the enemies. Oh crap! I said I wasn't gonna read the ability. I basically just read the ability. Oh well. Sorry about that. Anyway, yeah, I don't know why I said whatever. It doesn't matter. The big thing with the ultimate is Viper's ultimate. It doesn't really help her do the things she wants to do. So what the way I think of Viper's ultimate is it's an anti-ultimate ultimate. You use the ultimate because I mean look at how fast it is.
You know they love
It's
this
so quick.
silly.
You just do that like point blank range. You like slide in, someone starts to charge up a big ult, you just bam.
Stone.
You know, you use that to cancel 7 ults. You can use that to cancel Dynamo's ult, you know, provided you're outside of the ult. Dynamo's ulting your team. You ult him back. He's gone for it. Use that to cancel Hayes ult. Use it to cancel... I've canceled a Lash ult with it before, right? He's like charging up, ding, 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 and immediately, boop, just before you can like do anything. Now that I think about it, I don't know why he didn't heroic jump. It doesn't matter. That was silly of him. You can use it to cancel Abrams ult if you're in the right position and you're quick enough on it. It's truly is an anti-ultimate ultimate. You just use it as a quick instant stun to cancel ultimates. It's so good at that. And then otherwise it has a pretty handy combo, but don't think that you have to combo it. But if your two's on someone and as it's about to pop, you can do that. And that gives them a little, that, you know, obviously that hurts them for 160. And then it makes them lower for the Lethal Venom to do damage. And Lethal Venom's the only thing that goes through the ultimate. I can test it right now, but armor piercing bullets, or piercing rounds, I believe this used to go through, but now it, oh, well, okay, I'll be damned. It does go through. Keep that in mind. Is that actually a player too? Sorry, I actually did not. For the longest time, it didn't go through for some reason. Okay. That doesn't put my fire rate with ricochet. Right? Hold on. Oh, and you can apply the 2 through the ultimate. Whoa! All right, big tip, big tip. Dang, I swear that okay. Like 1 or 2 patches ago, that wasn't working. All right, sick. So armor piercing round. So the 2 and armor piercing rounds will go through it. Oh, and I believe teammate Shivolts. Shivolts, I believe, will go through them too. And I mean that kind of covers the ult. Use it as an anti-enemy ultimate. Oh, it also counters Infernus ult. It counters pretty close to every ult in the game when you use it right. But if you just try to use it for damage or for like chasing, it's not always the best ever. But I would say it's a lower value build or lower value ultimate, which means you're more free to use it. You know, this isn't like a 7 or a Dynamo ultimate where you have to be really careful. This, I mean, you just use this to either get 1 kill or to save your life, or to counter other people's ultimates, and that's it. And it's really good at that. All right, and then closing it off with a quick Viper overview. Remember, you're a little bit weaker in lane, so remember to kind of shove waves a bit, try and prevent too much poke being received by you, while staying safe and then capitalizing on enemies' mistakes. Keep track of their cooldowns, and then work together with your teammates to get off easier, like cheesy lethal venoms, and then transitioning hopefully into a really strong mid game as those cheap but extremely effective Viper power spikes start to kick in with burst fire and maybe even point blank and split shot. And then hopefully you start to close out the game before things get way too late with all the Viper, or not, with all the Haze ults and all the Dynamo ults going off everywhere. So remember, strike fast, strike hard, end the game quickly, hopefully. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and thank you for watching my video. Bye.